And if you see his name, David Berkvam, doing a show, please, you should go see him. And he's a really interesting guy. You can get him one-on-one.
What's his last name?
Berkvam, B-E-R-K-V-A-M. He actually works at Gino's, or did.
Oh.
Is Mark here? Where's Mark? Just I wonder if he knows if he still works there. He was working as a dessert cook in Gino's.
Wow.
And yeah. And
so has he already done Tanager and Bonnie Jean, or
how do you know about that?
Yeah, we've been here since 10.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to that.
Sorry.
Nice.
Okay, these are two vineyards that are on the way, but they aren't online yet. Yeah, you guys are good.
Nice.
Very good. No, those are not done.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're not done yet. We haven't figured that out yet. And those are a couple of years away. Yeah, but no, you're right. That's coming. That's coming. But we thought it was a lot of fun. And so we really enjoyed that he had the time to do this for us. This will happen with the 2009 vintage. So as of this coming vintage, 2009 wines will have that new artwork. So we're looking forward to it.
We're changing the boxes too.
Not yet. We could. We could.
Just wondering. We don't have to.
No, we could. We haven't yet, but we might. That's something that we could do as well, and that's actually a little easier.
Yeah.
Getting the real hard part. The really hard part, and this part, you guys let me know if you're ready to move on to something else, but the really hard part is actually that you're trying to take this very dimensional artwork, this carved wax, and get that feeling of relief on a label. And so you have to photograph it. So you have to take it to a studio, you have to photograph it, try to color correct it to get it right. Which is very, very, frankly, very hard.
Yeah.
And then have that transmit to a label, and it's just not that as easy as you might think it is. It's not. It takes a lot of standing over press and with editors and such getting it right. But it's going to be fun and worth it, no doubt about it.
So my understanding is you went out into the vineyards with him.
We did.
And you kind of gave him an idea about what you wanted to see from each vineyard?
Actually, the first thing we did is I took him to every site, and he and I walked every vineyard together. And we were going to try to do something that was a depiction of that site, unique to that site. And in the end, we ended up with, it was one of those beautiful days in Oregon where you had a lot of rainbows and flowers. And so we ended up with all of these images that were just, actually weren't riveting, frankly. Right. And so then I said, David, take that experience of walking through those sites, but now let's add a layer of something else, of part of the work, of the craft, whatever, on top of it. And so we did. And so that seemed to work. Now it was more interesting.
I think they're fan-fucking-tastic.
Thank
you. The depiction of the
I'm
labor.
going to quote you on that.
I'm like, we're in a warehouse. I can say that, right?
That's right.
Just the picture of the work and the labor and the love. I think it transcends.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're really
This is my
enjoying it.
PG-13 rating for the
and
Oscars.
I can't figure it out. Are these wood carvings?
No, these are wax.
Wax.
In fact, you have to be careful what temperature they're stored in, because if it's too cold, they fluoresce, and so they turn white.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll turn white. All you gotta do is take a little blow dryer, and they're fine. But if you get them into any kind of real heat, they melt.
Wow.
And so you can't put them in your car and run around in the summer or what have you. No, this is actually what he does is he takes plywood. This is the plywood frame. He routs it out, and then he layers in colored wax. Okay, and so the depth of his carve with a stylus determines the color you see. It's incredibly detailed.
Oh my word!
I mean, it's really, I'd never seen it before when I saw the first time at that first Thursday. I'd never seen anything like this before.
So how long does each piece take him to do?
He's fast.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually
very
fast. We did all this. All this happened in about 5 months.
Wow.
And he's got a job. At the same time.
Wow.
Wow.
So you have to admire him. I mean, but again, he's not very social.
Right.
So
Yeah, 14 hours a day for 5
He's
months.
very
Closet
focused.
artist.
He's very focused on his work. He's very, he's very
Where do you
good.
keep the pieces when you're not showing them?
Well, these we just got.
Yeah.
They came straight from his house. Asa picked them up last week
Wow.
from his house, and he had about a 2-line conversation. Hi, David. I'm here to pick up the artwork. It's right there, Asa. Something like that.
Thank you.
Nice.
Did something like that. And so, but we've been keeping the piece we've had for years. The original piece has been up in my office by my desk, just out of sunlight.
Yeah.
Are those real people in the pictures?
This is yes and no. I mean, there were workers in the vineyards when we were there, and he was taking photographs. He loved what David did in all of our walks is he just photographed everywhere we were. Now this, though, he did not do. This is something I asked him to do. This is for Canary Hill. Dick and Nancy Daniel planted Canary Hill in 1983, and they did an amazing job of keeping that vineyard together for many years. In 1996, we leased it from Dick and Nancy and began farming it ourselves. And then about 4 years ago now, we purchased the vineyard, and we lost Dick 2 years ago, and it was a great loss because he was a tremendous mentor to Mark, to me, to Seth. Seth is over here. Seth now actually lives in the house on the property that Dick and Nancy built by themselves, essentially. And he's taken beautiful care of that property. He's got a green thumb, big time. And Nancy did. Nancy is essentially an acre of gardens around the house, so it's a big job to keep up with them.
Wow.
But and so this is us kind of. This is very kind of personal for us,
Homage.
for Dick and Nancy, and what they meant to us for so many years, being just tremendous stewards to us as well. We learned a lot from both. But otherwise, there's a lot. Actually, in the racking one, you have the barrel. That's Alberto. Supposedly, Alberto's nose doesn't look nearly that long right now to me. But that's artistic license, I guess. And unless he had a nose job in the last 4 or 5 months, but I don't think so. But generally, that's just. Those were some of those, like the one at Shea Vineyard is the second to the last. That shows some shoot positioning. That's a picture that David took when we were there of the guys positioning shooting. Hard to tell given the compactness of that work. And then it shows the number 7 on the post, which denotes block 7. Block 7 is I think, without a doubt, the best block in the entire vineyard of Shea by far. And we have to fight Dick for that block every year. But anyhow, we end up with that block every year so far. So enough about artwork.